That's what is disturbing, that we need people to want to help Indigenous people. And if you don't, get out of the field.
The coroner's inquiry into Joyce Echaquan's death concluded Wednesday. The 37-year-old Atikamekw woman died last September in a Joliet hospital, 50 kilometers northeast of Montreal, hours after live streaming staff hurling racist insults at her. The lawyer representing Echaquan's community of Manawan, Quebec, says numerous failings in the treatment Echaquan received were tied to systemic racism in the healthcare system.
You have generations of institutions that have been allowed to mistreat people. They don't even realize that they're doing it anymore. It becomes the norm.
Expert testimony revealed that Echaquan died of a pulmonary edema likely caused by left heart failure, but doctors and staff had wrongly diagnosed her as suffering from opioid withdrawal. She was left alone for chunks of time unmonitored after being given large amounts of a drug to calm agitated patients and morphine. Closing statements by the family's lawyers told the inquiry that the 37-year-old was ignored by staff and would still be alive if she weren't Indigenous, that the mother of 7 cried and screamed but no help came, that she was told by staff that she didn't deserve to be treated and was bothering them. After 3 weeks of grueling testimonies where the nurse heard in the video filmed by Echaquan apologized to the family for what she said and did, and where others denied ever seeing any systemic racism, coroner Jeanne Camel says her final report will be honest and hopes it will lay the groundwork to counter systemic racism in Quebec's healthcare.
What would be nice is if it was mandatory to read the report and then have your supervisor sign something saying you've read it, maybe a little quiz to make sure that you actually read it, right? And then implement it and then evaluate it.
Tuesday, Indigenous leaders recommended that Joyce's principles be integrated into the coroner's final report, which demand all Indigenous people have an equal right to the highest standard of physical and mental health care. The chiefs also called on the Quebec government to recognize systemic racism, that to move forward it starts by calling it by its name, something Premier Legault and his government have refused to do.
Is his opinion still going to just veto that? Is his opinion just going to block the fact that, you know, there's a group here that thinks there's systemic racism, but there's a leader here that says there's not? Squash.
As the inquest ended, thousands took to the streets in Trois-Rivières to remember Joyce and the so many nameless women and men out there who've endured what she did here in Quebec and across the country. Many marchers saying they feel there's a wind of change. In Montreal, Samsara Rainville, City News.